Hello YouTubers and TCG fans, this is Davide here again with the second part of our tutorial on how to play Cardfight Vanguard. If you haven't checked out the first part is all about how the game mat works, like every places and stuff. So yeah, if you haven't watched that one, please be sure to check it out because you'll need it for this part. So in this part I'm going to explain to you the cards. Now in the previous video I said that you have like different grades, or maybe I just slightly went over it, but now I'll go into more detail. Cardfight Vanguard consists currently of 3 grades. You have your grade 0s, which is usually the starting Vanguard and the triggers, and I'll bring them up right now. So this is a Vanguard. Now you know this is a Vanguard because first off it's a grade 0 as put here left above, and it has the ability to boost, which is this little sign over here. Now the camera doesn't really pick it up, but when you get your hands on, you check out any Wikipedia or something about Cardfight Vanguard, you'll see it. So it doesn't have anything here in the top right corner, so you know that it's not a trigger, because triggers usually have something here, as you can see it. Now, there's 4 different types of triggers. I'll put the starting Vanguard over there for a second. So you have 4 different kinds. You have the heal trigger. Any trigger in this game gives you plus 5,000 attack. So whenever you are attacking with your Vanguard, and so you attack like this, then you pull cards, and if you pull a trigger you get to give 5,000 to any of your rears. And of course the other effect, which I will explain right now. So this heal trigger lets you heal 1 damage only if you have more damage in your damage zone than your opponent. So let's say I have 3 damage, my opponent has 1 damage. I pull a heal trigger, I get to give 5,000 attack power to any of my rear guards, and I get to pick up a card from my damage zone, put it in the drop zone. So yeah, that's our first one, which is the heal trigger. Then the second one, the critical trigger. It's the most famous one in Cardfight Vanguard right now, and I'll tell you why. Whenever you attack with a card, it says here in the middle how much damage you will do if you hit. Now, for every card right now in existence, it's only 1. But this one increases it. This one gives you a plus critical, which is this, because it says also under it, critical. Now the camera doesn't really pick it up, but you get the general gist of it. So this one gives you 2 damage. So if your attack hits with any of your front row cards, you get to do 2 damage instead of 1, but you need to give the effect. So that's what critical trigger does. Then you have the draw trigger. Again, it gives plus 5,000 and you get to draw a card. So that's pretty much straightforward. I can't really explain much more than that. Then the stand trigger. Now there's something really special about the stand trigger. Like I said, when you attack, you tap it. But if you pull a stand trigger, you can restand another unit. Now, you can't stand your Vanguard again, because that would just be a little bit insane. But if you have, like, for example here, a rear guard that just attacked, and you pull a stand trigger, it stands again, so it can attack again. So, you know, it could make out some sweet combos, and some decks really run off of that. So yeah, that's as much as triggers goes. I'll recap it quickly at the end of the video, so I'll keep that here on the side. So, and this is our starting Vanguard. Like I said, it doesn't have anything on the corner, so, and it's a grade 0. Then you have grade 1s. Here we go. This is just a little collection of grade 1s. Whatever happens is every turn, when you have your Vanguard here, you start off by riding. And you always ride by putting something on top of it. Now this is basic maths, guys. This is a grade 0. What goes on top of a 0? A 1. So there you go, grade 1. And this is how you do it every turn. Next turn you go to 2. Next turn you go to 3. And 3 is the maximum right now. There has been speculations about a grade 4 coming out, but I sure don't hope so, because I like it the way it is. Every grade 1 has a different kind of ability, as you can see here on the card. It always has writing with a ability. I can't really explain all of them, but you get the general idea. It always has like an adding effect, as do most of the cards in this game, otherwise it will be too straightforward. Yeah, so you always write it at the beginning of your turn. There you go. And you can attack. And again, it's one trigger you pull when you attack with the Vanguard. And you can also, with ones, boost. So these back rows are made for boosting the front cards. So if I'm playing like this, for example, there you go. So I have here a card that does 7,000 attack. And his booster at the back, who does 6,000. So if I attack, it's 7,000 plus 6,000, which makes 13,000. And then I can choose a target. Just mind you, you have to both tap it to get the boost. If you do it like this, it's just a 7,000 attack. So yeah. And the same goes here. So yeah, that's basically like the purpose of grade 1s. Now, to quickly finish it off, there's one more thing about grade 1s. They have the perfect guards. They look like this. Here you can see it. The perfect guards. They have like usually this gold thing about them. Perfect guard is a fact that whenever you guard with it, you discard a card from your hand to the drop zone, and it blocks anything. Doesn't matter if you throw 60,000 damage or if you throw 10,000 damage, it blocks it. And nothing can harm your Vanguard for that one attack. So yeah, that's what's included in the grade 1s. So you'll see like loads of decks that have been tweaked on and worked on that always have like 4 of them or 3 of them. So yeah, let's move on to the grade 2s, which I have right here. These are grade 2s. As you can see, they have the 2s. Well, maybe not, depending on if the camera really wants you to see it. Okay, so your next turn after you've done your grade 1s, there you go, you write your grade 2. Now, also one thing to mention is you can't have any rear that is higher than your Vanguard. If your Vanguard is 2, you can only put 0, 1s and 2s in all these, never 3s. This is the highest card you can always have. You can have like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. But like I said, only grade 1s and grade 0s are able to boost. So not really a point putting 2s here, only for tactical reasons. So, then, here you go. I'll put another 2s there. Just leave that one out. Then, you have the grade 2s in your rear. And they have another symbol under the 2, which is like an arrow, and it means intercept. Now, intercept is that you catch an attack for another card. So let's say I am defending this turn, my opponent attacks me. I don't have anything in my hand. So, with grade 2s, and grade 2s only, I can do this. It's called intercepting. They intercept the attack for the Vanguard. Now, most grade 2s only have 5,000, which is explained here. Grade 1s have 5,000. Grade 3s can't block. So that's the one thing I will come back on later. And only grade 0s have 10,000, except the draw trigger. The draw trigger, because it gives you a card, only gives you 5,000. Other than that, grade 0s always give you 10,000. So it's really useful sometimes to have a trigger in your hand to block an attack. But yeah. You can intercept with multiple, and you can guard and intercept. So, for example, if this is my hand, I intercept, which has 10,000 plus 5, which makes 15,000. It's not enough. He's attacking me for 20,000. So I put a trigger, which gives me another 10,000. So I'm blocking for 25,000 against their 20,000 that is incoming. So I block the attack. Of course, if they pull a trigger, they can go over it. Now, if they attack with 25,000 and you defend for 25,000, it still goes through. So be careful with that. Always make sure you cover triggers when you're guarding. So yeah, that's grade 2s. Like I said, grade 2s can go up front, they can intercept, and here it's only grade 0s and grade 1s, because they are the only ones who can boost. So having like this makes only for a 9,000 attack from my rear. It's not going to be 9,000 plus 9,000 because grade 2s can't boost. So yeah, so I'll put the grade 2s aside. And then you have the last ones, which are usually the most expensive cards in the deck, and also the most prettiest ones, the grade 3s. Now, that's what it's all about, really, because they have like the big effects, they're the big guns of your deck, and like I said, they're also the most expensive cards in your deck. Like, for example, here, this is Alfred from the Gold Paladin deck. He is a more expensive card, but he has an effect. Now, most of the grade 3s these days always come with this effect called Limit Break. Now, you can see it here. Here you go. This little, oh, hang on. This little logo here says Limit Break 4, LB4. So, then, to start off from the top, they have the biggest attack, 11,000. That's usually the grade 3, like standard now. 10,000 or 11,000. Now, when they attack, unlike any other grade of Vanguard, like grade 1 Vanguard, grade 0, and grade 2, when you attack, like this, you draw one card, one trigger. But they can't intercept or boost, but they have the logo of Twin Drive. Now, Twin Drive is just the same thing as always, only you draw one extra trigger. So you pull 2 cards. So when I attack, like my deck is here, I attack, 1 trigger, 2 trigger. That's the only difference, really. Then let's get back to the Limit Break effect. So Limit Break effect is usually when you're on 4 damage. You have Ultimate Break, which is 5 damage, but those cards are really rare. Like, you don't get them often. So Limit Break, you have 4 damage here. Let's just quickly put 4 cards here. There you go. You have 4 cards here. Limit Break, 4 damage. That's only how it works. You can only Limit Break if you have 4 cards in your damage zone. Face up or face down, it doesn't matter. You have 4 cards here, your Limit Break activates. And basically, that's what it's all about, really, with grade 3s. It's like you have your effects, or your Limit Breaks, and your Twin Drive checks. So yeah. Then, to quickly show you something else. Also, when you get into Cardfight Vanguard, you'll come across certain rarities. Now, you have the common cards, which is like in any deck, in any card game, it's just common. Then you have your rares. They're these. If you look really closely, you might see like a little bit of sparkling. Yeah, anyway, you can tell. It's like random. And it says here at the bottom, an R. So, oh, here. Oh, sorry. Here, where I'm pointing with my card. It says like an R, so that's a rare. Then you have double rare. And double rare are like a little bit different. As you can see here, they're a little bit more shiny across the whole thing. And then you have, of course, the most expensive card, the triple rares. And they usually are full shiny with like a nice extra effect. And it also says here double R, triple R. And then you have one more, which is SP, and I don't have one, unfortunately. I had one of the most expensive cards, but somebody was kind enough to trade 2 Raging Forms for it, so I kind of had to make that deal happen. So yeah, that's all I can say about the cards. Thank you for watching. You can always check the 3rd part, where I will actually be like doing like this little duel against myself here to explain scenarios and how a game is actually played from turn 1. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.